Coming up, we tell you why teacher unions have declared an indefinite strike over cost of living allowance. IMF team from Washington arriving in Accra tomorrow ahead of Wednesday's start of negotiations for garnered support from the fund. Information Minister throws more light on why the government is going to the IMF. And the TUC says it is a tragic mistake and a sad one that Ghana is going to the IMF. President Akufo-Addo meets with private sector and assures of government's continuous search for innovative and sustained means of supporting the sector. City response team deployed to enforce Operation Clean Your Frontage, and Accra High Court orders 14 persons accused of killing Major Mahama to open their defense. Welcome to the news in brief on Graphic Online. We start from Accra, where pre-tertiary teacher unions have declared an indefinite strike with immediate effect. This, they say, is following the failure of the government to pay the cost of living allowance they have asked for. The unions are the Ghana National Association of Teachers, National Association of Graduate Teachers, Coalition of Concerned Teachers Ghana, and the Teachers and Educational Workers Union.
The unions declared the strike Monday morning at a press conference in Accra, reports Iman Oboni and Faith Ayokomensa. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations has invited the leadership of the teacher unions to a meeting over their demands. According to the ministry, it is not that responded to attend, with the NAGRAT, the Coalition of Concerned Teachers Ghana, and the TEU not responding. It says once the other unions were ready for the meeting, it will be held, adding that the government was not insensitive to the plight of teachers and workers in general.
I, Angel Kabonu, President of the National Association of Graduate Teachers, direct all teachers and non-teaching staff in the Ghana Education Service, pre-tertiary sector, to withdraw all our services from both the classrooms and the offices.
A high-powered team from the International Monetary Fund head office in Washington will be arriving in Accra tomorrow ahead of Wednesday's formal discussions for a new economic support program for Ghana. The meeting with government officials will officially start on Wednesday with plenary negotiations into Ghana's quest to seek a bailout from the fund. The team is expected to meet officials of the Ministry of Finance, the Economic Management team, and the presidency during its one-week stay in Ghana.
It will consist of senior officials from the head office of the IMF in Washington, D.C., as well as local staff based in Ghana, Graphic Online has gathered. Last Thursday, the government indicated to the IMF its intention to seek balance of payment support. The IMF country office confirmed receipt of the indication and pledged to support Ghana for its 17th program with the fund. The IMF works to achieve sustainable growth and prosperity for all of its 190 member countries. It does so by supporting economic policies that promotes financial stability and monetary cooperation, which are essential to increase productivity, job creation, and economic well-being. In April 2015, Ghana turned to the IMF for a $918 million loan to support its ailing currency and help stabilize the economy.
And still on the IMF move, the Information Minister, Kojo Oponkruma, has been explaining why the government needs support from the fund. He has been speaking to a number of media houses today, hoping support for the government's move. He disagrees with the call for the government to apologize, saying what was important was for the government to focus on the urgent actions to address the economic challenges.
And I can say, IMF. Na chairman bibia ko hia say you be call IMF enka savings kakra sikeda kakra ya part wo buffers ya build your reserves kakra ya build from 2017 to 2019 kind the first place 2020 na hu ko hia say sebi ye di nyina be adwuma na ye de ye no na nka hu ko hia say nka by now ye rebuilding bibi fufura abampo a na wo say nka ye cost road nka by now nka ye reserves a bit to media so ya sin.
The window available to us, which would have ordinarily ensured that we don't find ourselves here, literally has been closed, if not just limited. And I'm talking about the capital markets window, which would have given you an opportunity to have some liquidity and ensure, therefore, that you will still be able to rely on your domestic, strategy, has been closed. And it's been closed for two reasons. One, we've been downgraded. Two, the kind of obstruction we are facing when it comes to getting fiscal policy passed or tax policy or revenue policy through is unprecedented. Even today, the $1 billion part of the domestic program, which we put in the budget, put before Parliament, got approval for, that is before Parliament today. We are being told that it will not be approved.
Meanwhile, the Trades Union Congress is not happy that the government is going to engage with the IMF. In a statement issued yesterday, the TUC said it was a tragic mistake and a sad one for Ghana.
Describing the government's decision to finally ask for assistance from the IMF as sad and tragic mistake, the TUC in a statement signed by its Secretary General Dr. Yao argued that the country's history of engagements with the IMF provided ample evidence that IMF-sponsored programs and policies could not change a country's economic circumstances, but only inflicted more hardship. It said in the Fourth Republic alone, the country had implemented 5 IMF programs. These IMF programs have only imposed unnecessary hardship on Ghanaians with practically nothing to show for them. The solution preferred by the fund are not appropriate for our economy. They scratch the edges of the problem without tackling the fundamental issues facing the economy. If we learn from history, we would know that countries that have succeeded economically, such as South Korea, Singapore, and China, did not follow the neoliberal policies based on the Washington Census, which provide the basis for all IMF-sponsored programs. It said the TUC was of the opinion that the only reason the government would want to seek IMF bailout was to look for short-term quick fix for the country's perennial economic challenges. It said it was very certain that the 18th IMF program would not solve Ghana's problems.
And also in Accra today, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo assured the private sector that government will continue to look for innovative and sustained means of supporting the sector as part of efforts to lead in the transformational development of the country.
The development of private sector in Ghana, he said, had been a difficult one due to all kinds of reasons, but the government remained resolute to continuously identify areas where the government and the private sector could profitably work together to attain the transformation purpose. President Akufo-Addo gave the assurance at a breakfast meeting with captains of industry put together by the Ghana Export Promotion Authority.
And on sanitation issues in Accra, Henry Korte, the Greater Accra Regional Minister, today cautioned members of the City Response Task Force mandated to ensure compliance with the Operation Clean Your Frontage program. He asked them to stick to their mandate and desist from engaging in lawless activities and unprofessional acts.
The regional minister was speaking during a briefing ahead of the deployment of the task force on Monday morning and warned that any member of the team caught exploiting people in their line of duty will not only be sacked but will be handed over to the police for the necessary action. The 867 recruits will assist the 29 metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies in the region and security agencies in the areas of traffic management and education on waste management practices and ensure discipline in respect of selling and parking at unauthorized areas within the assemblies. Led by the regional minister, the team will also support the enforcement of bylaws on the cleaning and greening of frontages under the Operation Clean Your Frontage campaign.
You are not soldiers. What did I say? Say, I am not a soldier.
I am not a soldier.
You are not police officers. Say, I am not a police officer.
I am not a police officer.
You are city response team.
I am city response team.
And so you cannot call yourself soldiers or police. Just be careful that you don't go beyond your boundaries.
And before we go, we take you to the Accra High Court, where the court today asked the 14 persons accused of killing Major Mahama to open their defense.
The accused persons wanted the court to rule that the prosecution had failed to establish a prima facie case against them to warrant them to open their defense. But in a ruling today, the court dismissed the submission of no case and ordered the accused persons to open their defense.
Graphic Online's News in Brief is brought to you by Graphic News Plus.
Download your Graphic News Plus now and choose your preferred package daily, weekly, monthly, and annually, and access free news on various interest areas as well. Graphic News Plus, connecting people through news.
Thank you for watching. For more news, please visit our website graphic.com.gh And follow us on Twitter at GraphicGH, on Facebook at Daily Graphic, and on YouTube at GraphicGH. I am Enoch Dafa Frimpong.